You know, as technology keeps getting better and better, there's so many different products out there, especially when it comes to Bluetooth speakers. And this one, even though the Bose Soundlink Micro, which I'm going to be reviewing today, obviously, is an older product, I really love this thing and I think it's going to be a good product for a long time. So let's get into the review. This is Adam. I hope this helps. And thanks for watching ahead of time. So before I get into my favorite reason why I love this speaker, and yes, I truly love this speaker. It's addicting to use. Let's go over the design and just quick functionality of this. So it does have a matte finish. It is shock resistant, but Bose doesn't give an exact how shock resistant it is, kind of like a water certification, but it is IP7 water resistant, so it's sealed to where you can dunk it in water and this and that. But I wouldn't go swimming with this unless it's attached to something, namely because it is going to sink. It's not going to float. There's no weight distribution for that or anything in here. Now when it comes to controlled micro USB, power on, power off, Bluetooth connection, everything's manual here. It's not just touch interface, or it's not touch interface at all. But play, pause, double tap to go forward, triple tap to go back, volume up, volume down, hold to access your assistant on your phone. And it does have a microphone, and I will test that as well to see if you can use this sort of like a conference speaker. So very basic, it works, nothing too fancy here. All right, let's get into my favorite reason why I'm so glad I bought this thing and why I love this thing. And that's namely because of the strap on the back. Now you can see I have quite a bit of wear and tear, well, at least in my opinion, on the back of this. And because I use it, number one reason why I love using this is attaching it to my bike on the front end. And I'm telling you, it gives you a whole different bike riding experience. It's one thing to have earbuds in your ear, but it's really cool to just feel natural while you're riding your bike without having your ears plugged up with something all the time or headphones or whatever on, and just have this. Listening to an audiobook or a podcast or music with this on your bike just changes everything. I mean, think about how much fun you can have with your friends riding a bike or whatever you can attach this to while you're riding together. I mean, it's like one thing for everybody. So that's why I love it. It just changed the way I ride my bike and do outdoor activities, because you can even attach this to your backpack while you're going on a hike if you want to listen to something faintly while you're still aware of your surroundings, if you're with a group of people. So if it's enjoyable for me by myself, I can't imagine if you bought this for like a family trip or just hanging out with your friends, doing those sorts of things. And I don't know why more people don't bring that up. I'm like, you can't really share like a podcast everyone wants to listen to or audiobook everyone wants to listen to with just your own earbuds or whatever. And only that, but earbuds only go so far in my opinion when it comes to doing activities. There's a lot of times where I'm like, you know, I wear a headset and I wear headphones a lot with what I do with my work. Sometimes it's nice to get a break from that and still be listening to content or enjoying music when you do something outdoors. As another example, I attached this to the fridge door handle. And that sounds so funny, but think about it. Whenever I'm cooking or whatever, yes, it's cool to have headphones on or earbuds if you just want an immersive sound experience. And I'm talking about those of you who may live with your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, you have a family, whatever, you live with family in general or roommates or whatever. Yeah, that's cool. But what if you're home alone, or what if everyone wants to listen to something at the same time? Well, that's another thing. You can put it on your door handle on your fridge and boom, it's right there. You don't have to worry about getting it messy because it's so easy to clean. You can spray water on it and this and that. And instead of getting your phone dirty, you could just get this thing dirty and have it just be a fun experience while you're cooking. So that's another reason why I love this thing, which that's a funny example, but I'm just trying to give you a real life experience of me using this, because I put it in the bathroom too. And you know, you can't really have headphones or earbuds on too when you're listening to music or a podcast in the bathroom. And again, these only go so far. You know, I've been a huge advocate of just using my phone on speaker whenever I need a break from earbuds or headphones, or whenever I just want to listen to something loudly. And phones can only get so loud. And that probably sounds really goofy, those examples I gave, but think about it. You're meant to be creative with this thing. And it does have limitations, of course. You can only attach it to so much. And as far as that latch goes, was I ever concerned putting it on my bike and that it will detach? No, because it sort of has a hook right there. So once you get it in here attached to something, it acts as a leverage so it doesn't come off. So I haven't had any worries about that at all. Now so be creative. You know, if you get this, just think about all the different ways you can use it, and you can be rough with it. It's meant for that. It's meant to be active with it, to drop it, have a spill on it, and be rough and messy with it. Sounds funny, but that's just the truth. So when it comes to the sound quality is definitely there. I'm freaking impressed with this thing. It bumps, it has a ton of bass, so when it comes to listening to hip hop, the bass isn't strong enough to drown out clarity if you do care about that in hip hop. I know a lot of people listen to hip hop just for the bass or whatever, and maybe the vocals. So you're not going to lose any music quality with hip hop. When it comes to rock, the highs do not have that, high pitch, that ear piercing kind of pitch to it if you turn it up really loud. And the mids don't drown out anything to where you're not going to be able to hear piano or drums or cymbals, or again lose vocal quality in a song no matter what it is you're listening to. So I tested out a bunch of different genres, and I have to say I actually underestimated how good the speaker was going to sound. It just sounds so good to listen to audiobooks and podcasts with this. So that for me is my favorite use of this as far as anything I've listened to, which is probably going to throw some of you off, but think about it. A lot of people who do audiobooks and podcasts do not have good production mics most of the time. They're using their MacBook or their, iPhone or something, and that's like about it. So that's my favorite reason for using this. But if you're worried about sound, it's definitely there. All right, now last but not least, let's get into a mic test of this to see if it's good enough to use kind of like as a conference speaker or just using it for phone calls in general. All right, testing the Soundlink Micro microphone. And this is in my quiet office, and I have it in front of my face like you would on a normal speakerphone call. And then I just brought it away from my face at arm's length, brought it back close to my face, and then I'm going to mess around with my keys, maybe drop my water bottle on the desk, hit a glass, just kind of mess with ambient noise to see if that comes through in case you do use this for business calls. So the microphone is good enough for calls and this and that, but obviously nothing too crazy. I mean, if you're in a quiet office, for sure, if you wanted to use this as like a conference call speaker, like if you had a group of people and you want to put it in the middle of the table, I mean, it should work fine, but there's definitely better stuff out there. Another test I'll do before wrapping up this review is to do a voice assistant test, because some of these speakers and even headphones and earbuds have latency with that. Let's see how good it works on this. Hey Siri, what time is it?
It's 1:08 p.m.
Dang, as you can hear, it works really dang fast. So for a Bluetooth speaker this old, I'm pretty impressed. So when it comes to any flaws that I think about this, the microphone is one thing where it was like, yeah, it was good enough, but it's not a highlighted feature, is the battery life. 6 hours per charge. So does it drain pretty quickly in my, real world usage? It actually is pretty much right on point with 6 hours, because what I notice is every bike ride I go on, which is 90% of the time I use this, it's about a half hour, maybe 45 minutes. And within 4 days, I have to recharge it and it's starting to get low, like in that 20% range. So I would say it probably is spot on to be in 6 hours, maybe a little bit less because it is an older product, batteries only last so long. And then when it comes to the range, I live in about a 1,200 square foot house. So from my phone and taking it to the backyard from my office, that's on the other end of the house to get into the backyard. It starts losing connection once I get about to the kitchen. And so it's not the best wireless range ever in a product. But then again, it is a speakerphone. It is a Bluetooth speaker. I'm kind of assuming you will have your phone near it anyway. So that's not even a big deal to me, even with that. I mean, in my opinion, for $100, like if I had 100, which is basically what my situation was. I was like, hey, I want to get a Bluetooth speaker. How much am I willing to spend? Got about 50 to $100 I'm willing to spend just for a Bluetooth speaker. I wasn't even thinking I was going to review. And so coming from that perspective, after buying this, I'm not even worried or thinking about any other Bluetooth speakers. And so that's just my opinion. I would even take this over the Apple HomePod Mini. Just in my opinion, because I can't take the HomePod Mini with me on my bike. You know what I'm saying? Like, that thing is stationary. Like, once you plug it in, if you see my review, which I'll have in the link below if you want to watch it to see if that's good enough, I just did not like that compared to this. This is so much better to use. So anyhow, at the end of the day, get one of these and go have fun if you're considering it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I kind of wish Bose sponsored me for this because I really can overhype this thing. But anyhow, Thank you for watching this. Truly appreciate it. Stay healthy out there, and I'll see you on the next one.